This week on my sewing journey, I've been working on election-themed crafts. Now I have 3 to show. The first one I'm going to show are these little pendants. And I thought they would be fun to put around. If you're like a teacher or work in a library or an election polling booth or just very patriotic, they might be fun for you and your family. So the first one here, what I did, I made my paper template, and I like to do everything on the fold. So I did half of it. I picked up my backing fabric, and then next I sewed together red, white, and blue, and I cut that out to this here, that shape there. And then next I sewed on an elephant. Now what I did was looked in a book, took some tracing paper, and traced an elephant. So very simple there. And I sewed that on, and then I sewed these right side together, backing fabric to this, leaving the top open, turned it to the right side, and then folded in the edge, and then sewed it across. So nothing really difficult there. You could glue these if you wanted to. Now for the donkey, the same thing. I went to a book, took some tracing paper, and traced a picture of a donkey. And the same with the sewing the red, white, and blue. To give it a little more interest so it wouldn't be so boring, I made the red a little bigger. And I put this little white thing, actually I put that on after I sewed the red, white, and blue together. Then I put a little white piece of fabric across. Then I sewed on the donkey. Then I sewed them right sides facing together, leaving the top open, and then turned it to the right side, folding that edge in, and sewed across. So that was craft number 1. Craft number 2, a little bit more intense. I plan on having flowers in here of red, white, and blue. And this is a Uncle Sam's stovepipe hat vase cover. I guess we could call it that. If you wanted to just put a circle across the top and make it the hat, you could make it the hat. Now I had to make my brim a little smaller because of where it's going to go. But you can make your brim a little larger. And that's just a circle. I put a backing fabric on it, so you'll cut 2 circles the exact same size and then sew it together, leaving a small edge to turn it to the right side, folding in the rough edge, and then sewing across that. To make this part of it is a long rectangle that's going to go around whatever you choose to use inside. So if you choose a smaller one, it would be smaller. If you choose like a large one, it could be larger. And what I did there is every 2 inches, I took some white fabric, laid it on there, folding the rough edge in, and then just sewing it straight up and down. And then next, I did the brim. Now, I wanted my brim to have multicolored blues, so I did multicolored blues across the bottom and sewed it all the way around. And then next, I cut out stars out of felt just by making a simple star, and sewed those on, and then I sewed the back up. So you want to do all that before you sew it for the circle part of it. And then you just sew the 2 together. Now obviously I didn't finish hemming this. It's not quite finished. Now for the last craft I have today is a star. And you could use this star for Christmas if you wanted to repurpose it. And I'm planning on doing a red one and a blue one, so I haven't quite finished. I made myself a star on some scrap paper. And then I took 2 pieces of felt, sewed them together with no right side to turn to the right side. I just went all the way around, sewing it together. And then I took pinking shears. You don't have to do this part, but I thought it'd look pretty cool if it had pinking shear edge, and trimmed all around it. Then I took a wire, stuck the wire up on it, and I took some pliers and made that little curly thing you see there. So very simple. I'd like to thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and happy sewing.